Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, this is our 6th session for percentage. I hope you might have revised all the previous sessions before appearing for this particular session. Okay, and definitely you are having your paper and pen with you, so you are going to practice with me. Okay, let's begin this session. Now let's see this question. A reduction of 20% in the price of oranges would enable one to purchase 5 oranges more for rupees 25. We have to find out the reduced price of oranges per dozen. Okay. Now friends, what is 20%? It's 1 by 5. Friends, further this is a game of fraction. Okay. We must be clear about the fraction to percentage and percentage to fraction conversion. Okay. Now there is a reduction of 20% in the price. That means now the price has become 80% of the previous price. That means existing price. Okay. That means the price has become 4 by 5 now. That means the person can buy 5 by 4. Isn't it? If price is half, then the consumption can be double. If the price is 1/3, then the consumption can be made 3 times. Similarly, if the price is 4 by 5, the consumption can be done 5 by 4. So what is extra? It's 1 by 4 extra, isn't it? Now this 1 by 4, which is extra, which is this. He is able to purchase 5 oranges more. Okay. That means 1 by 4 is 5. That means 1 is equivalent to 20, isn't it? So initially he was able to purchase 20 oranges for rupees 25. Now he can purchase this 20 plus this 5, 25 oranges for the same amount, isn't it? That means for rupees 25 he is buying 25 oranges. That means that orange is 1 rupee per piece. So we have to find the price of dozen. That means 12 rupees per dozen. Okay, isn't it so simple? Just have to understand the concept. Friends, if you wish, you can use the alternative method also, which I am going to explain it over here. Just a moment. Suppose here it is price and it is quantity. So price into quantity is the total amount, which is 25 over here. Okay. So let's initial price is X, initial quantity is Y, and the amount is 25. Okay, which is this. Now price has been reduced to 80%. So it's the new price is 0.8x and the new quantity is Y plus 5. Still it is 25. Okay, so it is 0.8xy plus 0.8 into 5x, that is 4x is equal to 25. Now xy is 25, so I just put the value of xy over here. So 0.8 into 25 is 20. So 4x is equal to 25 minus 20, that is 5. That means x is equal to 5 by 4. That means the initial price is 5 by 4. Then what will be the new price? That is 0.8x. So 0.8 into 5 by 4. Okay. That is rupees 1 per piece. Okay. So we have to find the price of per dozen, that is rupees 12 per dozen. Okay. Both the methods are similar. The previous one was very easy and very quick to do. This is bit lengthy but very easy to understand. So whatever the method you find convenient, you can go for that. Okay. Let's take the next problem. Similar case. A reduction of 20% in the price of plums would enable a person to get 2 dozen more for rupees 5. That means the price has 4 by 5 of the previous price, that is 80% of the previous price. Now the price, if it is 4 by 5, that means the consumption will be 5 by 4, which is 1 by 4 extra, and 1 by 4 is equivalent to 2 dozen. That means 1 is equivalent to 8 dozen. That means initially he was buying 8 dozen for rupees 5. Now he can buy 2 more dozen, that is 10 dozen for rupees 5. Okay. It's okay. Now we have to find the reduced price per dozen. So we can buy 10 dozen for rupees 5. That means 50 paisa per dozen, isn't it? So it's very simple. I hope you are clear. Or else you can go by the algebraic method also, which I have discussed in the previous question. Okay. Let's take one similar problem so the concept can be strengthened. A reduction of 21% in the price of wheat enables a person to buy 10.5 kilogram more for rupees 100. What is the reduced price per kilogram? Friends, here this data, this percentage is not easily convertible into fraction. Okay, so let's go for the algebraic method, which will be very easy. Okay, initially the price, the quantity, and the amount, which is 100. Okay, this is price, this is quantity, and the overall amount is 100. Now price has been reduced by 21%. Okay, that means the new price is 0.79x and the new quantity is y plus 10.5 and the amount is same. That means 0.79xy plus 0.79 into 10.5x is equal to 100. Now xy is 100. That means 0.79 into 10.5 is equal to xy is 100. That means this calculation will be 79. So this calculation will be 100 minus 79, that is 21. I'm sorry, here x is also there. Okay. Now we have to find out the reduced price per kilogram, that is 0.79x we have to calculate. So 0.79x will be 21 by 10.5. Okay, so it's 2 times. So it's the reduced price is 2 rupees per kilogram. Okay, very quick. And I don't think there will be any problem if you go for this method. Alternatively, you can do the problem even mentally. Just listen to me carefully. Friends, there is a reduction of 21% in the price. Because of this reduction of the new quantity, we are getting 10.5 kilogram more. That means suppose the new quantity is x. Okay, so 0.21 of x is equivalent to 10.5, isn't it? That means x is equal to 10.5 over 0.21. That means the new quantity is 50 kilograms, which we are going to buy for rupees 100. That means rupees 2 per kilogram. Okay. If you can grasp this logic, then also it will be great. Else this method is also appropriate. Okay. I hope you are clear with both the methods. See this question. Due to an increase of 30% in the price of eggs, 3 eggs are less available for 7.8 rupees. What is the present rate of eggs per dozen? Now let's assume the present quantity which we are buying is x. Okay. Now, if price is 30% increased, that means the new price is 13 by 10 of the previous price. Okay, so if price is 13 by 10, that means the consumption will be 10 by 13 of x. If price is double, the consumption is half. That means if price is 13 by 10, the consumption must be 10 by 13 of x. That means the consumption is reduced by 3 by 13 of x, and that is equal to 3. That means x is equal to 13. That means initially we were consuming 13x, now we are consuming 10x. Okay, so the price per egg is 7.8 by 10, that is 78 paisa. The new price is 78 paisa per piece, and for 12 pieces it is 12 into 78, 9.36 rupees. I hope you are clear, and just see the alternative method also to solve this problem. Now let's assume the price of egg is x rupees and the quantity which we are buying is y rupees. So x into y is 7.8. Okay. Now since the price is increased by 30%, the new price will be 1.3 times of the previous price, and the new quantity is y minus 3, still it is 7.8. Okay, so 1.3 xy minus 1.3 into 3x is equal to 7.8. Now this xy is 7.8, so I just put over here 1.3 into 7.8 is equal to 1.3, minus 7.8 is equal to 1.3 into 3x. Let's take 7.8 as common. So we are left with 1.3 minus 1, that is 0.3 into 7.8 is equal to 3 into 1.3x. Now we have to find out the increased price per dozen, that is 1.3x we have to find out. So it's 0.1. So it is 0.1 into 7.8, that is 78 paisa. Okay, so 1.3x is equal to 78 paisa. That means per egg is 78 paisa. For 12 eggs we need to pay 9.36 rupees. Friends, you can go for any one of the method we discussed. The best method which is the first recalled in the examination. Okay. That means you should not think you should not take a lot of time to think a shortcut. Okay. Now friends, let's say this question. The price of sugar having gone down by 10%, Sharat can buy 6.2 kilogram more than for rupees 279. Now we have to find out the difference between the original and the reduced price. Now since the price is going down by 10%, that means the price is going 9 by 10. That means the consumption can be made 10 by 9. That means it is 1 by 9 plus 1. That means 1 by 9 part consumption can be increased. And in this case, 6.2 kilogram consumption is being increased. That means 1 by 9 is equivalent to 6.2. That means this one, that is the original quantity, is 6.2 into 9. Okay. Now this is original quantity, and we are buying for 279. That means what is the price per kilogram? It is 279 by quantity, that is 6.2 into 9. That means the original price is 5 rupees per kilo. Now the price is going down by 10%. That means the new price is 4.5 rupees per kilo. That means the difference is 50 paisa. Okay. I hope you are clear. Now try to understand this logic. Difference is price 10% and difference in quantity is 6.2. Okay, that means suppose the total quantity X, the difference in price is 0.1, that is 10%, which is equivalent to difference in quantity. Okay, so here X is total quantity and difference is price in point, that is 10%, which is equivalent to 6.2 kilogram. That means X is equal to 62 kilogram. Okay, now what is the price per kilogram? That is 279 by 62, that is 31 nines are and 31 twos are. So that is 9 by 2, which is 4.5 rupees per kilogram, which is the new price. Okay, now this price we got after deducting 10%. That means of the original price, this price is 90%. That means the original price was 5 rupees per kilogram and 90% of 5 rupees is 4.5. So the difference is 50 paisa per kilogram. Okay, so the difference between original and reduced price is 50 paisa per kilogram. I hope you are clear with both the methods. Now let's see this problem. Further, this problem is based on percentage and ratio and proportion. Okay, now in an examination in which full marks were 800, A is getting 20% more than B. That means A is getting 120% of B. That means A is to B is 6 is to 5. Okay, so A is getting 6 by 5 of B. Similarly, B is getting 120% of C. That means B is getting 6 by 5 of C. And C is getting 15% less than D. That means C is equal to 85% of D, which we can say 17 by 20 of D. Okay. Now since we are given the marks of A, that is 576, we can calculate the marks of other persons also. Okay, now A is getting 576. That means B must be getting, okay, that is 96 into 5, which is this is B's marks. If B is 480, that means C is 400. And if C is 400, then D is, that is the marks of D, which we have to calculate. Okay, so that should be D's marks, but we are to find the percentage of D's marks. Okay, now let's calculate. This is D's marks out of 800. So from 800, D is getting 400 into 20 by 17. So from 100, he must be getting these marks. Okay, so it's 1000 by 17%. Okay, which must be around, I'm sorry, it must be around 58.8%. Okay, since 17 fives are 85, 150, 17 eights are 136, that is 14, then further 17 eights are 136. So it's around 58.8%. So 58.8 is a percentage of D out of, that means from 800 he is getting these many marks, but I am not calculating over here since I have to calculate the percentage. Okay, I hope you are clear. Now let's see this question. A district has 64,000 inhabitants. If the population increases at the rate of 2.5% per annum, then the number of inhabitants at the end of 3 years will be what? Okay, now what is 2.5%? It is, we can say 5 by 2%, or we can say 1 by 40. Okay, so the population is increasing by 1 by 40 per annum. Okay, that means every year the population is getting 1 plus 1 by 40, that is 41 by 40. So in the first year, or we can say the initial year, is 64,000. Okay, after 1 year the population will be 41 of 40 of the previous year. This is after first year, then it is after second year, and it is after third year. Okay, I hope you are getting this point, why I have done 1 plus 1 by 40. Since the population is increasing by 1 by 40 every year, that means 1 plus 1 by 40 is the new population, which is 41 by 40. Okay, so 41 by 40 of first year is second year, and 41 by 40 of second year is the third year. Okay, now we have to calculate this 0, 0, 0, 4, 4, 16 and 64. Okay, so ultimately we have to calculate 41 cube. Okay, and now 41 cube is what? I hope you can calculate what is 41 cube. Or friends, once again you can go by the digital root concept. Both of these are excluded from the answers, since the unit digit must be 1. So either this or this must be the answer. Okay, further you can calculate the second last digit of 41 cube. Since it is different in both the options, you can eliminate one of them. Okay, so what is the second last unit? The first digit is 1, and the second last unit is calculated by multiplying this power to this tens digit, that is 3 fours are 12. So the second last digit will be 2. Okay, so second last digit is 2, and the unit digit is 1, which is there only in this option. So if at all you don't know the 41 cube, then also there is no problem, you can do it like this also. Okay friends, in any case, if you wish to find out the power 3 or 4 or 5, doesn't matter, you can just multiply. Okay, provided the unit digit is 1. Okay, suppose you wish to calculate 51 cube, then it will be the second digit will be 5, that is 3 5s are 15. Okay, suppose you wish to calculate 71 raised to maybe any other number, any other digit, any other power, so the first digit is 5, and the second digit, that is the tens digit, it's 5 7s are 35. Okay, so this way you can calculate the unit digit as well as tens digit, and it will be helpful for you to eliminate the options. Okay, I hope you are clear. Now similarly in this question, the population of a town was 1,60,000 3 years ago. If it is increased by 3%, 2.5% and 5% respectively in the last 3 years, then the present population is. That means let's begin with 1,60,000. Now after 1 year the population will be 103% of this data. So it's 103%. After 1 more year, the population will be 102.5% of this data. So it's 102.5% of this data. And after that, it's 105% of this data. Okay. Now, you have to make the calculation or you have to make this multiplication. Okay, now further, since the unit digit are unique, we can calculate it easily. For that, first of all, let's reduce the denominator to 1. So it's 4 4s are 16, 4 25 and 0. Now it is 25 10 and 25 4 and 1. Now it is 5 2 and 5 21 and it is 2. Now we are left with 2, 103, 41 and 21. So now let's calculate the unit digit. Since there is no denominator, I mean there is denominator as 1 only. So whatever the calculation we are having will be our answer. But we are interested in calculating the unit digit only. Since this multiplication, that is 2 into 103 into 41 into 21, will be bit lengthy. Okay, so the unit digit will be 2. I just write it over here, 2 into 103 into 41 into 21. If you wish to find out the unit digit of any multiplication, just keep on multiplying the unit digits. So it's 2 into 3, 6, 6 into 1, 6 into 1, 6. So the unit digit of our answer must be 6. Okay, so these two options are eliminated. Now we are left with these two options. Okay, now let's calculate the digital root of this particular multiplication. It's 2 into 3 plus 1, 4 into 4 plus 1, 5 into 2 plus 1, 3. Okay, so it's 4 2s are 8, 5s are 40 into 3, 120. That means the final digital root is 3. Now let's see in which case the digital root is 3. Let's say in this case 6 and 3, let's eliminate 9. 6 and 3, 9 we eliminated. Then 7 and 7, 14, 15, 15 plus 6, 21. So the digital root in this case is 3. Okay. Now definitely if it is 3 in this case, it won't be 3 in this case. Then also just verify. It's 9 we just cancel. 6 plus 5, 11 and 7, 18 plus 7, 25 and 1, 26. It is 8 in this case. So we are left with this option. Okay. So if you know the digital root concept and if you know the unit digit calculation concept, then you don't have to make this sort of multiplication. The problem will be very easy for you. Okay. I hope you are clear. Friends, I'm taking similar type of problems so the concept can be cleared easily. Okay. Now let's see this question. The population of a town 2 years ago was 62,500. Due to migration to big cities, it decreases every year at the rate of 4%. That means after 1 year, the population will be reduced by 4%. That means the new population will be 96% of the original. That means of the first year. So after first year, the population will be 96%. Okay. And after second year, further there is a 4% fall in the population. So the new population will be 96% of the first year. Okay. So this we have to do, this calculation we have to do. Further we can go for digital root concept or unit digit concept. First of all, let's reduce the denominator to 1, 25 and it is 4. Okay. Now definitely the unit digit will be 0. So let's calculate the digital root. It's 7 into 6 into 6. Okay. It is 7, it is 6 and it is 6. 7 6 are 42 into 6. That is 6 into 6 which is 36. That means the sum of digit must be 9. Okay. Let's see which option is correct. Here it is 6 plus 5, 11 and 7, 18. This can be the choice. It is further 18. So this can also be there. 8 and 8, 16. It cannot be and it cannot be. Okay. Now let's take up 2 zeros from this multiplication. For 2 zeros, we need to take 2 5s and 2 2s. Okay, so 2 5s, that means 25 has gone and we have to reduce 2 2s from this. So we are left with 96 into 6. So the unit digit after 20 is 6, which is there in this option. Okay, so this is correct. Okay, I hope you are getting my method. Since I am explaining it to you, that's why it's taking time. Otherwise, when you practice with it, it will be really very easy task for you. Okay, and the entire problem can be solved in less than a minute. Okay, and alternatively, if you can observe from here, it is 24. it is 24 into 4. Just write it over here. It's 25 into 24 into 4 into 24. That means it is 24 square into 100. So it is, what is the square of 24? That is 576, and 25 into 4 is 100. If you can observe it, it will be very easy for you. Else you can go by this method. Sometimes we forget to observe this sort of easiness in the problem. Okay. Now once again the similar problem. Here we are to calculate the depreciation. Okay. Now depreciation is what? It's a reduced value. Okay. So depreciation applicable to an equipment is 20%. That means every year the value of that particular equipment is getting down by 20%. Okay. So the value of the equipment 3 years from now will be less by. Initially, suppose the value of that particular equipment is 100. After 1 year, it will be 20% down. That means it will be 80% of the first year. 80% is 4 by 5. So this is after first year, and this is after second year, and this is after third year. Okay, I hope you are getting my point. So it's 4 4s are 16 into 16. Okay, so it is 16 square, which is 256 by 5. So it's 51.2% of the original value, or we can say from 100 minus 51.2, that is 48.8% reduced. Okay. So it's 48.8% reduced. Now let's take this problem. The population of a town increases by 5% annually. If its population is 2000 in 2001 is this, then what it was in 1998. That means we have to find out the population 3 years before. Okay. So let's the population in 1998 be X. So every year it is increased by 5%. That means after 1 year it will be 105%. Okay. And after 2 years further it will be 105% of the previous year, and after 3 years further it will be 105% of the previous year. And this calculation is actually 138915. Friends, there are two choices for you. Either you can calculate this and get the value of X, or you can get the approximate idea. Okay, now what's approximation in this case? Okay, since the population is getting increased by 5% per annum, that means after 3 years, approximate increase in the population will be 15 to 16%. Why I am telling 15 to 16%? Since it will not be exactly 15%. Why? Because every year the population is increased upon the on the base of the previous year. So in the first year the population is 105. In the second year the population will be increased on this factor 105. So the data will be bit more than 15%, or we can assume it to be 16%. Okay. So now let's calculate the 16% of the options and where we can get around this calculation. Okay. So if we add 16% of 1 lakh, that is 1,16,000. It's not closer to this. Okay. So it cannot be the right choice. Similarly, if I add in this case 1,08,000, it must be around 16,000. Then plus 16% of 8,000, that will be something around 1,400. Okay, so even this calculation will be much less than 20,000. So the final answer cannot go beyond 1,25,000. Okay, so even it won't be the right choice. Now let's take this case. For 1 lakh we are adding 16,000, and for 10,000 we are adding 1,600. Okay, so the final calculation, even it won't take you to 1,38,000. So the answer D is correct. Okay, I hope you are getting my point. Else you can calculate this. It's so the value of X is equal to 138915 into 8000, that is 20 cube, by 21 into 21 into 21. Since all the answers are in whole numbers, or we can say in integers, that means this particular number, that is 138915, will definitely be a multiple of 21 and 21 and 21 once again. Okay, so definitely if you just divide it by this data, you'll be getting integer. Okay, so you can do the calculation on your own, and I have told you the approximation method also. So both the methods are with you. You can choose of your choice. Okay, let's take the next question. Okay, in this case, the value of a machine depreciates at the rate of 10% every year. It was purchased 3 years ago. If its present value is this, then its purchased price was. That means we have to find out the value before 3 years. Okay, so let it be X. Okay, after first year, the value of machine will remain 90%. That is, after second year, further there will be a 10% decrease in the previous year value, and after third year, one more decrement of 10%. So finally this calculation is 848748. Okay, now we have to calculate the value of X. Friends, since the calculation, all the options are in whole numbers, definitely this number 8748 will be cancelled by these 9s. Okay, let's do. 9 9s are 81, 6, 9 7s are 63, 1, 9 2s are 18. Now let's see this problem. In the month of January, the railway police caught 4,000 ticketless travelers. In February, the number rose by 5%. However, due to constant vigil by the police and the railway staff, the number reduced by 5%, and in April, it further reduced by 10%. The total number of ticketless travelers caught in the month of April was. Okay, now let's begin with 4,000. Okay, now the number rose by 5%. That means 105% of the previous month. Then in second month, the number reduced by 5%. That means 95% of the previous month. Then further it is reduced by 10%. That means 90% of the previous month. Okay, so we have to make this calculation. Okay. So let's do this calculation. Okay, so the unit digit is 1 into 9, 9, 9 into 9, 81. That means your answer's unit digit must be 1, which is there only in this option. So no need to calculate further. Okay, so 3591 is the correct choice. Friends, I hope you are doing problems with me, and we'll be taking more such problems in our next session of percentage. Till then, do revise this session and all the previous sessions. Bye-bye.